Hey guys, welcome to the live stream. Just gonna wait for the algorithm to do its thing. Let a few people in. I like to show up about 5 minutes early, so if you're watching the replay, you can fast forward a little bit, probably. Um, but I like to just hang out here, make sure everyone's arrived that wants to be here, and then we'll go ahead and get started. I'm just going to make sure we're live here on the phone. Yep, looks like we're good. So as you're showing up, make sure to drop a comment. Let me know you're here. You can just type a 1 if you're feeling pretty shy. If you want to be more verbose, you could ask me a question or whatever. Or let me know how you discovered me. That would be kind of cool as well. Find out where you guys are from and all that sort of stuff. And then we will get started. Looks like a few people are showing up, which is awesome. So we'll get started in a few minutes. So yeah, I want to make sure the comments work though, so that way if for some reason you don't hear me or there's an issue, you can drop the comments. And also, I'm going to answer questions through this whole thing, so make sure to drop your questions there. At the end of the training, after I do the walkthrough, we'll do a Q&A if you would like. Some people stick around and have a few questions. Yesterday, someone was asking how to make a professional sounding kick drum, so I went through that after the training. The replay should be around, so check that out. And for those of you that are here, it's going to be a pretty good walkthrough. Once again, this whole walkthrough is about how I took an 8-bar loop that one of my students submitted to me that at the time she wasn't able to finish. And I basically recorded myself going through the whole process of finishing the song. It ended up being good enough where we thought it'd be a good idea to release it. So we released it together with a couple other songs, and it turned into both of our first #1 releases. So this is just a very transparent way for me to show you what it's like to create a song like that. And it's not all about bells and whistles. It's about fundamentals. It's about principles. It's about understanding, mixing, and knowing a whole process. So for those of you that are new to me, you may be aware or may not be aware that I wrote the best-selling book, The Mental Game of Electronic Music Production. You can find that on Amazon. You can just type in music production book and it'll come up at the top. And check out the reviews and see if that is something that you want to check out. I also wrote a book called The Process of Electronic Music Production. That's a bit newer. We also got audio book versions of that as well. So if you're interested in that, check it out. We just hit 10 a.m. So getting ready here, but I've seen that some people have shown up and some people have left. Which is kind of this weird thing with the algorithm. So I just want to make sure that we have a few people here. Just turned 10 o'clock, so this is the time that everyone is expecting to show up. So some of these people might be coming back. So I will wait just a little bit and then we'll go ahead and get started. I still have not seen any comments in the comment section, so make sure to drop a comment. Let me know that you're here. Let me know you can see and hear me. And then we can go ahead and get started. As you see here, I recommend that you have headphones or some decent monitors, because that way you'll be able to hear what's going on in the low end and hear like the full sound. Much better than just using your computer speakers. So make sure to grab those if you got it. I got a thumbs up. My cat's gonna make an appearance with some noise. So if you can hear my cat, always likes to be noisier than me. So, actually, you know what I gotta do? I gotta take his toy away, or he's gonna freak out through this whole thing. One Kai, you finally are my first comment, so I'm gonna give you something for free. Just hang tight. At the end, I'll give you something for free just for being cool. Glad that you got the books. I hope they're doing really well for you. I hope that they are empowering you. Let me take care of my cat. We'll get started, all right? No. 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 Come on. You gotta let go. You gotta let go. There you go. Maybe later. You can put it back. He's got his favorite toy that he always freaks out on and gets real noisy with. So if I remove that, then the noise is removed as well. Don't worry, he'll get it back later. All right, guys. Oh, Jake's back. Good to see you here. We're just getting ready to kick off. So the comments are starting to come in, which is excellent. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. If you guys didn't hear the intro of what this is all about, go ahead and start from the beginning after this is done, and you can check the replay or what have you. But I want to make sure we get started. And One Kai says, yes, they are. Thank you, Jason. And it's K, like the leather. Okay, 1K, perfect. I will keep that in mind. All right, guys, do you have any questions before we get started? Anything that you're wanting to know, anything that you're having challenges with? This is for you. So even though I've kind of got an agenda on what I'm trying to teach here, it's important that I'm serving you. It's really strange with the algorithm. I've got over 30,000 people on YouTube. I've got 28,000 people in my group on Facebook, and the algorithm just is terrible. Let's just face it. So most people are going to see the replay, but I really like these live trainings anyway, because the people that do show up ended up having some cool conversations, and those people get a little bit more of like a one-on-one experience with me as well. So hang tight. We're gonna jump in here. I just gotta go ahead and grab the video, and we'll get started. Once again, drop a comment. Just let me know that you're here, ready for this, and we're getting started right now. And you can, of course, drop any questions, and I'll be with you through the whole thing. So let's grab the video, and let's get going. Hey guys, welcome to the third session in this 8-bar loop challenge. I'm just going to get right into it. Let me tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that the bass that I did in the last video, I want to change it a little bit. I want to use kind of the part that I created, maybe just for the breaks, and make this bass line here a little closer to the main bass line, just so that it identifies better throughout the track. With that said, I'm going to get started here. So here's a break here. So I'm going to leave that, and I think there's another break over here. All right, and then I'll just put a cut here. And I'll change these colors so we can differentiate. Same color. There we go. Okay. Now with this, I'm going to play around with this automation a little bit. My pencil tool here. Let's get that first note in there and see what we got. a second here. Well, this last note here. Let's see what grabbing a little of this note here does. And I'm just automating the volume just in case you guys are wondering. Actually, that's kind of interesting. Let me try this. Just give a little hint. These notes here. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I might actually simplify that a little bit more. I think I'll start here, copy it over here, and then over here, let's set alarm for 11 a.m. So here's what I want to do here. It's basically a 4-bar loop. I want to copy the first 2 bars a couple times here. So duplicate there. So that's 3 times, and then it'll change here and start over again. Maybe I'll duplicate this as well here. Maybe on this one I'll remove. See what we got here on this last one. All right, cut this up a little bit. So what I'm trying to do is just create variation, so things don't get too stale while we're building into the main groove, which can kind of be more loopy. But we're trying to build up this bass part so it stays interesting throughout, and so that the main bass part doesn't get overplayed as well. So that's kind of the goal here. See what we can do here. Give a little bit more of this here. I like that background sound, and I'm wondering where that's coming from. Here. Yeah, I like that. That adds a nice layer to what we got going on here. Which I think, let's back this up to here, so right after the break. What's that break there? I don't even know if that's necessary. I don't think that's necessary there. I can just... Okay. So there should probably be maybe a little break right here. So I just go in and I edit this part so I can just cut this part out. Let's see what we've got here. Here we go. Let's take that note out and let's see if that creates enough of a break. Yeah, that does the trick. Okay, let's see. We've got our got a lot going on right here. Let's see what we can pull out of this little break. That does it. Now the bass part itself, let's kind of get in. Let me see what we got going on here. I'm thinking that it might need another compressor on there. I'm going to try a glue compressor. And they usually have some pretty good presets, so I'm going to start with the punch preset. High frequency is kind of doing my head in just a little bit. Let me see if I can get rid of it. Okay. Still not really giving me quite the punch that I'm looking for. Kind of creates a rounded tone, but I'm looking for something a bit sharper, just something that cuts through the mix a little bit better. So I'm going to go with an extreme setting to start, and then I'll kind of bring it back. You can probably hear that kind of click in the beginning. That's kind of what I'm going for here, but I don't want it to be too overwhelming, so. See how that cuts through the mix. Yep, that did the trick there. And now Let's see what we got going on in the sub. Oh, we don't even have the sub turned on. Okay. Okay, so here's what I'm going to try here. Is I'm going to have Ableton analyze this bass line here into a MIDI part, and then I'm going to see if I can work that into a sub line just to fill out the bottom end. Okay, let's see how well it did here. Okay. Let's take these notes out. Cool. Let's plug this in to this sub sound and see what we got. Oh, get rid of that. And I don't need this. All right, and I'm going to drop this an octave. So I'll copy all the notes, hit Shift and my down arrow. A little clickier than I would like, but actually the click might help with the part. So see, it might have something to do with the release time. No, it might have something to do with the attack time too. Okay, now I'm going to back off the high end here. Oh, let me back this off here. There we go. If you're wearing headphones, you'll be able to hear that difference that it made there. And now I'll probably be able to pull this up a little bit. All right, now let's see how these layer together.
try an octave higher again. That's a good note, but it's just... No, still happy with it. With it deeper. And now let me simplify this bass line here. Increase the release time a bit. Okay, let me turn off the saturator here. All right, let me just bring in the utility here. I don't want to turn up the sub too much, but I definitely want it to be heard, so. Yeah, it shakes the speakers a bit. All right, let's bring back the other bass part. Double this loop. Cool. Good, and that's kind of has a bit more body movement to it as well, so I'm pretty happy with that. All right. What's the next thing that I want to jump into? Let's see here. Let's see if it makes sense to put sub in here or let it be for now. I think I do want something in here. I want it to be subtle though, but I'm hearing something in my head, so. Okay. Actually, I'm going to drag this over just so I have some of the notes. That should be enough. And we'll pull it out of the parts of the break. All right, cool. So next thing I want to do is start getting a little bit of sounds moving around the headspace a little bit. So I'm going to see what some of these loops are doing here. This is our snare. All right, I'm fine with that. Actually, nah, I'm fine with that. Let's see what we got here. Hi-hats, ride cymbal, here we go, percussion. All right, that's one to work with. That's one to work with. And that one's workable. Let me move this perk up here, just so they're all kind of in the same zone. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click and slice to new MIDI track, because I want all these little separate parts to be controllable so that I can kind of add them in the way that I want through some effects and things like that. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. And yeah. Okay, so now I've got all these sounds. So some of these sounds are repeating, but cool. So I can use those and kind of sparkle around the mix. All right, and we don't need that. And I'm going to do the same thing here with the stick. Cool. And I'll move that. And finally, this percussion here, I'll do the same on these sounds. See what we got here. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all these kits together. And I'll group them. I'll just call these hits. And I'll start this off just by something that I typically like to do. Actually, do I want to do it in? It should be fine. Add a little bit of panning movement here. Maybe a little bit of filter. Slower rate. Actually, I'll put that first. And then start with that and see how that sounds. I think having a panning delay kind of defeats the purpose when we've already got this delay here going. So all right, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some return tracks to further be able to tweak those sounds, and also a couple other sounds as well. So in this, I will add another pan. A little bit of saturation here. And EQ.
Hey guys, I just wanted to check in with you, make sure everyone's doing all right. The guys that have stuck around, you guys are the rock stars. I like to reward the rock stars. I know that this type of training or walkthrough is not incredibly interactive, and there are parts that, you know, honestly get a little bit boring or tedious. But what I would really recommend you do is really take a look at the points where you get a little, you know, where you feel like you want to jump off this thing, because that's the exact place where you stop making your own music. That's one of the main reasons why you don't finish songs, is because you feel like the process should be much more interesting or move much more quickly or what have you. I wanted to make this as authentic as possible, because a lot of coaches, a lot of trainers are afraid to show something like this so transparent, because they know that it's going to look a little bit boring, right? But those of you who are watching and seeing the details, and, you know, kind of pushing yourself through the discomfort, that really says a lot about where you're at with your music production. And if you have that same sort of keeping on sort of thing, you are going to get better results with your own music. I'm not saying because you're watching my stuff that you're going to become a better producer, but noticing your discomfort at certain points where things get a little boring, that's what happens with music making, and that's where a lot of times we get stuck with our music. So I just wanted to point that out to you guys. Also, I'm going to put a link for everyone that's here right now. So if you're paying attention, only the people that are here, I'm going to give you the my kick machine, which is a really amazing way to make awesome kicks. Loads of layered samples and things like that. It's a really cool Ableton tool. I think you'll love it. I'm going to give it to you for free. All you got to do is just message me at, I'm putting it in right now. Let's see, facebook.com. Hit me up at my personal page. All right, so I dropped that in there. So what I want you to do is just, when you get that, just type in, what do I want to, KM. That way, if I get a bunch of messages later on, I'll know who's authentic and who's not. The messages that I receive during this broadcast or just a few minutes afterwards, I know there's only a few of you on here. So yeah, if you hit me up there and just message me with KM, I will give you the kick machine for free, and that's normally 37 bucks. So want to reward you guys for sticking around, and I think that from here it's going to get a little bit more interesting just because of the effects and things that we're doing. So thanks for sticking around. After this walkthrough, feel free to hit me up at that link, and I'll give you guys that tool for free. Let's jump back in, and I'll see you at the end of this.
We don't want too many of those lows coming through. And obviously going to grab a delay. I'm just wondering, let's try a filter delay here. And let's see what we got here. Sound pretty cool. Cool, some good movement there. And add another return track. And let's add one of the Max for Live effects here. Convolution reverb. Okay, let's start with experimental. See what we got here. That's a great step here. Let me try Demon Delay. It's an interesting sound. Let's see what we got here. Let's see if we can go for a bit more decay. The only thing is I don't really want that sound to be on everything, so I think I'll change it. Cool sound though. Let's see what Strange Echo does. Help if I turn it up. Cool. Now, let me add reverb to that. A little less, but yeah, a little reverb never hurt. And let's make sure those lows are out of there. This as well. All right, good stuff. So got our convolution, and I'm going to add yet another return track. Now this one, let's try the grain delay. Let's get that feedback up, and we can play with this a little bit. Go for full-on feedback. Something like that might be pretty cool. Cool. And then I'll just kind of turn it down, make it a little more subtle. All right, let me kind of do a little overall here. And get that auto pan up. Now we've got a lot of movement going on here. So now throughout the track, I can kind of add these interesting sounds. And maybe just bring the volume up on these so they kind of cut through. Obviously, I was just playing randomly, but gives me some sounds to work with, bouncing through the stereo spectrum and delaying off and kind of just creating some interesting sounds there. Let's see what we got here on the reverb. Might just go ahead and add a long reverb as well. So let's pop in a reverb here. Turn it up 100%. Keep those lows clean. We're getting rid of that there. And let's put a filter in there just to give it a little bit of movement. Cool. So I'm just going to back that off just a little bit, make it more subtle. Cool. So in the next video, I will go in and start building some parts and lay some of these hits down and just make the overall track sound a little bit more interesting throughout. See you in part 4.
There you go, guys. I hope you got something out of that. It wasn't incredibly eventful, but a lot of the meat of producing is not as eventful as you would think it is. It's about really listening to the details and understanding how those details should sit in an overall mix to really enhance what's happening. When your mix is too clean, unless you've got really perfectly placed sounds, it can sound a little bit boring, it can sound a little empty, it can sound a little bit too sterile. So with a lot of the stuff that I produce, I try to add these subtle layers that are bouncing around your head and things like that to really improve the mix. So if you guys have any questions right now, it doesn't have to be about the track we're working on. It can be about anything Ableton or music production. You got a couple minutes to ask me, and then I'll go through any questions that come through if they do. Otherwise, I will just hit it from here and get you guys back tomorrow morning. So I'll just hang tight. And once again, type anything in the comments. Just let me know that you made it to the end. Thumbs up to you. Pretty awesome. And I hope that this isn't just you consuming content. I'm hoping that this inspires you to just take simple, basic steps forward to just move your own music forward. You don't want to spend all your time watching someone else produce and then not take action on your own music. That's just consumption, and everyone does that. It's the 5% of people that watch something, get an idea, and use it in their own music and finish those songs. Those are the ones that are going to have success. And you know, it's not really the one that watches the most videos wins. It's the one that finishes the most songs. So keep that in mind anytime you're watching a tutorial or anytime you're watching a walkthrough. Is, you know, what can I grab from this? What can I learn from this that I can immediately apply to my song? And because if you don't apply it, then all these things that you're looking up on YouTube or wherever are gonna be useless to you. When you actually need them, you're gonna have forgotten them because you didn't put them into practice. So yeah, so there you go. Jake, appreciate you commenting pretty much all the time. That's really cool of you. Glad you liked it. We'll get deeper into it tomorrow. If anyone has any final questions, I will take that on. Oh yeah, Jake, if you're contemplating a one-on-one with me, definitely hit me up. You can just use that link, musicsoftwaretraining.com/application. That doesn't cost you anything to fill out. And then we could just see what your challenges are and if you're compatible for the type of things that I can offer you. So we could have a conversation about that. So there's no questions that have come in. So with that, I'm gonna finalize this and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Peace. Make more music. Take care.